So much delicious food, so many flavors, it was awesome. Before anyone starts calling me culturally insensitive or worse, let me just make it clear that I hate all human cultures. Or more accurately, there are aspects of all cultures that I truly despise.
Det er min tur å levere av visdom og spre, og det er det jeg ønsker å kreve i lønn, mer enn en drøm.
Assalamu alaikum, Amaranam Matthias. So last winter, half a year ago, I spent 5 weeks in Bangladesh with my wife and her family. I finally got to meet my wife's parents and her family, and to also introduce them to many in my family who also came to Bangladesh to join us the last weeks. Seeing so many new things all the time was overwhelming, so I was filming a lot of the time and ended up with way too much footage to fit into 1 or 2 vlogs. So to split them up, I thought I could save most of the food-related clips to use in a separate video, where I go over my experience in Bangladesh as a vegan. So that's the reason I didn't show much food in my previous vlogs, part 1, part 2. Check them out if you haven't already. In case these vlogs are all you've seen of my content, I'm gonna talk as if you don't already know what veganism is. Most people actually don't know what veganism is, so I will try to clear this up. Veganism has nothing to do with food in of itself. It's an ethical principle, and eating a plant-based diet is just one of several consequences of living in alignment with this principle. It's not about the food, it's about ethics, it's about the animals. Veganism is the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. They are not here to serve us or be used by us. They are not our tools, objects, resources, machines, or slaves. Just like us humans, they have intrinsic value because they are sentient. Their lives mean everything to them, and we have no right taking that from them or force ourselves on them. That's veganism. Taking a stand against speciesism affects your diet in a world where it's normalized to eat other species of animals. Same as it would also affect your diet to take a stand against human discrimination if you lived in a society where it was normalized to kill, objectify, and eat certain groups of humans. It's not about the food or the products themselves, but about what's required to make them. There is no right way to do the wrong thing. But when other people hear about or think about veganism, food is usually all they're thinking about. How do people eat when they don't eat animals and their secretions? Wouldn't I miss flavors I'm used to having? Is it hard not to be tempted by animal products? Is it hard to say no to food offered to you? Is it scary to stick out from the crowd by eating something different from everyone else around you? This is usually the furthest people's thinking goes in relation to veganism, if they even think about it at all. So when people ask me if it's hard to be vegan, that's a hard question for me to answer, because yes, some parts of being a vegan in the non-vegan world can be very hard, depressing, and draining to deal with. But no, the things people think will be difficult are not difficult at all. I'm never tempted by animal products because I know they all require animal exploitation and needless violence, which I don't want any part in. It's horrible and disgusting. If I only had rice and lentils to eat for the rest of my life, I would still much rather do that than to go back. Luckily though, that's not the case, and we have an abundance of vegan options. There are 30 to 50,000 edible food plants in the world. Done properly, you can still get all the nutrients you need and all the flavors and dishes you want. Just a vegan version. In addition, it's usually healthier, cheaper, and way more environmentally sustainable. These are not the reasons we do it, these are good bonuses, but the animals are reason enough. But even with lots of options, our options of course vary around the world. So many people have asked me how it was for me as a Norwegian to be vegan in Bangladesh. So that's what this video is going to answer. I've kept you guys waiting long enough, so first I wanna show you some good foods I had there during my stay. After doing that, I'm gonna go over the other sides of being a vegan in that culture versus what I'm used to. So, food is a big part of all cultures, but maybe even more so in Bangladesh. Everything is centered around eating together and inviting people over to eat, showing hospitality and generosity. People want to be good hosts and spoil their guests with lots of different food. Since my wife lives in Norway with me and she sees her family rarely, it was almost as if people there wanted to make up for the time apart and cook for us all the time and invite us over for food all the time. So during these 5 weeks, I barely cooked. Every night we either had big dinners at our parents' where we stayed, or we had dinner invitations elsewhere. One evening we went to 3 separate dinners in the same building block. A lot of her family and friends of her family lived around in the same area, so we were truly spoiled with so much good different food. They even considered my spice tolerance and made some dishes less spicy than they normally would have. So we didn't go out to eat in restaurants that much, at least not in Kumilla, just a couple times, a bit more often in Dhaka. Luckily, I'm not a picky person, because when we were eating out at restaurants, there wasn't many vegan options. There's usually something. Most places have rice, dal, or other dishes with lentils, chickpeas, vegetables, French fries. But it wasn't like Europe or North America where you can find vegan burgers, vegan sushi, pizza, tofu, everything. Got a bit tired of having rice every day, so now ordered some noodles and we found a salad buffet which had lots of legumes and shrooms and vegetables, so we went a bit crazy. First I thought you got some kind of burger, but what you said you called it?
Pav bhaji.
Pav bhaji.
It's Indian dish, it's not Bangladeshi.
Waiting for my family, eating something they were selling here at the parking lot called Amra. First I thought it was avocado, but what is it exactly?
Amra. I don't remember the
It reminds me a bit, it has this avocado, but more like crunchy.
hog plum.
Hog plum?
Yeah, that's the...
A plum you can hug?
Not hog. Oh.
Hug plum. Or hog.
Hog.
Something that's very common in Bangladesh is street food. Very cheap and usually plant-based. Some dishes had dairy or eggs or other animal products, but many didn't. Even if fish, chicken, shellfish and dairy products are a big part of the diet in Bangladesh, they also make a lot of different plant-based dishes. So even if my options were limited in restaurants, they were not limited when we ate home-cooked meals or when we had street food. So now I'm gonna try some Bangladeshi street food.
It's chalmudi.
What?
Chalmudi.
Too spicy. Yeah.
Can you eat? Can you?
Yeah, my guts already have IBS. I don't need more super spicy.
It's called pani puri.
We've had this before, I think, at some of your friends' place. Something similar. This.
We tried fuchka.
What?
Fuchka.
Puchka. Because these are really recognized round cracker things.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good though.
Look at it.
Chutpati. Also really good. It's hard to pick between this and the last one.
Pani puri.
Pani puri or chutpati.
Chotpati.
Chutpati. Both really good.
Available আমাদের masala dosa আর chicken dosa না Are you foreign, is it?
Yeah, I'm Norwegian.
Sorry?
I'm from Norway.
Oh, Norway.
Yes.
Norway. Did you come here for a holiday?
Yeah, to visit my wife's family.
Oh,
Yeah.
more. Hello? Bolo.
It's that one kind of plum. We call it bolo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's where I was.
The plum chutney.
Yeah. Den potettingen her så kul ut. Smaker potetgull. Bare så langt finner iskrem i Bangladesh, men her i den internasjonale zonen mellom Bangladesh og India fant jeg for første gang sorbet. De kommer til Norge og bare, oi, det er epler på trærne. Rognebær. Fy faen, hva er det for noe liksom?
Ville du ha ballerjus, Mathias?
Ja.
Fullt glass?
Hva er dommen, Jørgen?
Det var sånn nøytral søtsmak.
De hadde presset ut fersk jus fra palme til oss. Der vi var, ved grensa til India.
Det er kanskje litt sånn nøtteaktig smak også.
Seljekvist eller noe sånt?
Ja, det er litt
Ja.
sånn suge på en seljekvist.
Det var helt grei, helt mild, grei smak.
No, it's not so much. So it's just.
How do you do? You like this?
It's great, thanks.
It's not so much inside.
But can you cook the hard part?
No.
Okay, so they don't use it for that, just for... There is this big misconception about vegan food that it's more expensive and almost like you're privileged if you're able to be vegan. But this could not be further from the truth. The cheapest foods in the world are plant-based. Rice, grains, roti, legumes, soy chunks, potatoes, local fruits and vegetables. Cheap staples in people's diets, making up the majority of it. And we see that when people become more wealthy, they tend to have more animal products. So the opposite is true. Animal products are the expensive luxury, which unfortunately creates this culture that people feel that they have to serve animal products to be good hosts and spoil their guests. And this was actually a point her parents brought up to me. They said that they expected to spend a lot more money than usual having a son-in-law staying with them for a month. But because I didn't want any meat or animal products, they said that they too ate less animal products than they normally would have. So having me staying with them actually saved them money. And just to bring this point home a little bit better, I want to show a clip from a vegan activist in India called Arvind. Now I know that Indian cuisine isn't exactly the same as Bangladeshi cuisine. I know there's differences, but there's also a lot of similarities and a lot of the same dishes. So yeah, just check out this clip from Arvind.
As far as I have seen right now, vegan food is pretty expensive. You would skip a meal, you know, as compared to be cruel to another animal. All right. But you know, somebody who's poor, not everybody comes from the same financial background. You know, maybe people cannot afford vegan food because right now most options are pretty expensive. Even almond milk and all, what I have seen till now, they're more expensive than your normal dairy products.
So firstly, we have to understand that right now as Indians, the cheapest foods in the market for us right now are vegan options. Now when I say vegan, unfortunately people have the wrong notion of looking at soy meat, mock meat, almond milk like you said. But you'll be surprised to know that around 85% of the food you are already eating on a daily basis is vegan. Just watch this. Idli, dosa, chutney, sambar, puri, masala, chapati, kurma, poha, upma, pongal, khichdi, uttapam, idiyappam, lemon rice, tomato rice, coconut rice, coriander rice, pudina rice, tamarind rice, veg biryani, veg fried rice, veg pulao, Szechuan noodles, gobi manchurian, mushroom manchurian, bel puri, pani puri, vada pav, samosa. What the point I'm trying to make here is, guys, one second. The point I'm trying to make is that Majority of our traditional Indian foods and Indo-Chinese cuisine can be veganized easily by merely removing the dairy component, or they're already vegan by default. Grains, legumes, and vegetables are not expensive. Plant products are cheaper here right now for us. Instead of using people who cannot afford, let's say, even basic food as an excuse to be a non-vegan, let's use our privilege to create a society where even people like them will be able to get vegan food by us changing first, and therefore changing the whole way the market works. That's my answer for that. Thank you so much.
There were a couple food stores there, fewer than other places I've been, because the most common way of shopping food there were in food stands. People had trolleys and stands with different kinds of food, and that's where people bought most of their food. If you're not a fan of fruits and vegetables, this might sound weird, but the foods there that stood out the most for me was purple dragon fruit and lal chak, red spinach. Lal chak easily became my new favorite vegetable. It used to be mustard leaves, now it's lal chak. It tastes like spinach, but it has a way more powerful taste. Not necessarily saying it was the best thing I ate there. Because of my wife, I'm quite used to different tasty Bangladeshi dishes. But it was something new I hadn't had before. I try to eat different fruits every day, and my favorite fruits are dragon fruits. They have a very mild taste, but I really like it, and especially the texture of it. Before going to Bangladesh, I've only tried the white and the red ones. And not long ago, I found and tried the yellow one in Oslo. But the only types you could find in Bangladesh were the purple ones. Purple then became my favorite dragon fruit. Now it's a hard pick between purple and yellow. The only downside to it is that it's a very expensive fruit. It grows on cactuses. For people in Bangladesh, it's also expensive, but since I'm used to paying 10 times more for it in Norway and only having it as a rare treat here, I almost had it every day while I was in Bangladesh.
I'm vlogging, so I'm just documenting. Dragefruktjuice måtte prøves.
Another fruit I hadn't tried before that I really liked there was the sugar apple, also known as sweet sap or custard apple. So there was an abundance of options for me there. Many different things to choose. Fewer options when going to restaurants, lots of options when going shopping or when having street food. But I have to admit, when I got back to Norway, it was really nice to have some plant-based meats again, to just like have a burger. That was really nice when I got back. Just saying. I didn't suffer at all. Not having that option is not an excuse to exploit animals. You can still have lots of tasty good food without plant-based meats. So that's how it was to eat there. So much delicious food, so many flavors, it was awesome. So now I want to go over the more challenging parts. Now, before anyone starts calling me culturally insensitive or worse, let me just make it clear to you guys that I hate all human cultures. Or more accurately, there are aspects of all cultures that I truly despise. So just remember that any criticism here that you might take issue with in this video is not coming from the place of a white European telling brown Asians how they should live. The perspective is that of a vegan, a person who thinks that humans should respect other animals and leave them alone, surrounded by people who don't think so and don't even see the problem with partaking in the largest Holocaust in history. If you are a vegan living in Bangladesh, I kind of feel sorry for you. Not because you don't have an abundance of good food to enjoy, as I've shown, but because veganism isn't really a thing in Bangladesh. They just look at you confused or in shock. Usually people have a vague understanding of it, at least in terms of how it's practiced with food. Most places I've been is a word most people have heard about at least, but that was not the case in Bangladesh. If you say you're vegan in Bangladesh, people will probably think that's your name. People ask me if my name was vegan because of my vegan neck tattoo. So it isn't something that people have heard about, which is very strange to me when you consider that India, their neighbor, is the country in the world with the most amount of vegans. Of course, there's no way to accurately confirm this, but some numbers suggest that as much as 9% of India is vegan. compared to the world's average of 1%. Whether that's true or not, at least we're talking tens of millions of vegans in India. And when you consider that Bangladesh is the world's most densely populated country, more than 178 million people, there should be 1 or 2 million vegans in Bangladesh as well. But I don't know. And 2 million is kind of like a drop in the bucket in Bangladesh as well. We almost didn't see any vegan labels anywhere. And in most countries I've been, at least menus have allergies marked on them. So it's easy to spot if something has milk or eggs in it. But that's not so common in South Asia, and many people actually die because of this lack of awareness and labeling when it comes to allergies. If you don't know Bengali or know someone who does, you can take with you, I'm not so sure I would recommend vegans to go there because there's so little tourism there. Many people don't speak English. Usually not a big problem when you have internet access, then you can just have a conversation through Google Translate. But sometimes the internet was slow or unstable and it took too long to get the translations. A lot of people in Bangladesh can't read as well, so it wasn't always enough to show the translated text or sentences I had written down on the phone. Even if my wife explained to the waiters in Bengali that I wouldn't eat anything from animals, some places they would still give us food containing animals. One place we went to had the option of ordering one big plate with many dishes. Wife explained, no animal products. They said they understood. Still, maybe 3 of the dishes on the plate they gave us was not vegan. Cheese, shrimps, fish. At a museum we went to in Comilla, they gave the same dishes to all the groups in the cafeteria there. Lots of non-vegan dishes, rice, dal, and sliced cucumber. I obviously just stick to the rice, dal, and cucumber. The people working there noticed that I didn't eat any of the other dishes, and after a while they came to our table with a new dish and said, here you go, this one is not spicy. They just assumed I didn't try the other dishes because they were spicy. My wife told them that's not the reason. He just don't eat animal products, so he won't have this new dish you came here with either. And they just looked so confused, as if they'd never heard of anyone avoiding animal products before, or as if the thought of that being an option had never struck them before. The first place we stayed in, Cox's Bazar, also just made the same dish for all their guests. One dead fish with some rice, dal, and aloo barta. But when I told them I don't eat any animals, they still came out with the fish for me too, and just told me to give it to someone else who was there. But that defeats the purpose, because the same number of animals was still killed. They still killed animals for me too, even if I had asked them not to do it. And I was just left with rice, dal, and aloo, while my brother ate 2 fishes instead of 1. And stuff like this is really depressing for people who actually cares about justice for animals. The most difficult part is being someone who cares, surrounded by people who not only don't care, they're also laughing and enjoying themselves and having fun while chewing on the corpses of murder victims, or drink the breast milk from a mother who was raped and had her babies kidnapped. And the fact that even good people are still gladly participating in evil atrocities and don't even care and don't even understand why you care, that's what makes being someone who cares hard. I don't miss eating animal products at all. I miss having faith in humanity. I miss feeling connected to my family and the people around me, and to not look at them as Nazis. But from the animals' perspectives, that's exactly what most people are. Even if I know most people are just indoctrinated, humans are complex. I wasn't always vegan. Humans are social creatures who just copies what people around them are doing without thinking about it. We're surrounded by speciesism and violence every day that we can no longer ignore like everybody else does. On some days it's just too much and you have to shut the world out a bit to protect your mental health. Det veldig fint her. Mye natur og dyr og grønt og... Jeg valgte å ikke spise med familien I stad, for I dag hadde jeg litt sånn animal cruelty overload. Noen ganger så... Det varierer, så noen ganger ble jeg deppa bare noen tar en slurk melk, mens andre ganger tror jeg mer. Men I dag var det litt sånn Først masse eggprat i frokosten, så var vi et sted hvor det var en kid som sparka en hund, og så klikka jeg og banna etter han gutten da. Skulle jo sikkert ha sagt noe mer konstruktivt, men ja, han tok jo poenget da. Men når man blir sint, så skrur man av logikken, ikke sant? Drittunge som sparker valpen, så er det jeg som får kjeft for å si fra og banne til unger. Ja. Kunne ha slappet han, men jeg gjorde ikke det. Så etterpå, når vi kom ned fra det stedet, så var det juice og smoothie bar. Og de skilte liksom mellom milkshake og smoothie på menyen, så jeg trodde ikke jeg tenkte å si fra om det. Så bestilte jeg dragefruktsmoothie, så tok de liksom det eneste dragefrukten de hadde der da. Og før jeg rakk å si noe, så bare scoop med melkepulver oppi, vet. Så ble jeg jo pissed på grunn av det. Så er jeg på dag 4 nå med malaria-medisin, som også har bivirkningen at man blir sint og irritert. Og jeg sov veldig dårlig i natt. Det gikk litt mye over tid. Først med å lære fetteren hennes og barna på stranda at krabber ikke er leketøy. Stakkars liten. Sikkert kjemperedd. Forrige stedet vi bodde, så er det små båter fulle av vann og masse fisk. Fanget i basically små bur da, for dem, ikke sant? Og her var det sånn, her kan du fange din egen kylling, så dreper de den for deg. Dyr objektifiseres jo i hele verden, og det er jo det det fører til, ikke sant? Så begynner man å se på de som leketøy og pyntegjenstander og mat, ikke sant? Men det er jo noen inni hodene deres. Det er jo det som gjør det jævlig. Å være liksom den eneste i en stor gjeng av folk som skjønner det. Det kan tære litt på da. Apatien, det er det verste. Og det er rart, fordi liksom når folk ser at noen sparker en hund, så er det sånn at alle rundt deg, ikke-veganere også som regel, da, skjønner at nei, det må du ikke gjøre, det er slemt liksom. Men så skjønner de ikke at å kjøpe melkeprodukter sånn som de gjorde rett etterpå er mye slemmere. Skaper så mye mer lidelse for dyr enn et spark. Og så er man liksom den eneste her som skjønner det da, omringet av folk som velger å se en annen vei og kose seg med vold og utnytting. Før noen sier at jeg er bare negativ og jeg hater alt og alle og tror at alle er dårlige folk. Nei, det er nettopp det. Det er nettopp fordi folk flest ikke er dårlige folk, fordi familien min og andre folk er bra folk. Det er nettopp det som gjør det så jævlig. Hvis ikke engang bra folk klarer å bry seg, da er det jo liksom ikke noe håp. Nei. Slutt med pupp, for faen. Men nå skal jeg prøve å fortsette å ha det hyggelig for det. Ja da. Så nettopp en hane og en høne som pulte. De begynte å løpe ned, kom litt nærmere, siden jeg kanskje har erfart det at her er det lov å fange og drepe de. Hei! Prøver ikke å gå for nærme. De er flotte dyr. Skikkelig undervurderte. Smarte dyr. De kan telle, de kan kjenne igjen ansikter, de har begrep på tid, planlegger dagen. De er smartere enn nyfødte menneskebabyer når de klekkes. Kjenner igjen foreldrene sine og klarer å skjønne at en gjenstand ikke blir borte når den er bak noe. Det er derfor du kan gjøre sånn pikabo med babyer, fordi de skjønner ikke det enda. Men så smarte er nyklekte kyllinger. And for people in this situation, wherever you live, if you feel like there's a wedge between you and your people, I think it's very important to get a vegan network of people to seek out and find other people who shares your values and understands your struggle. That way you will feel less alone and you will be able to build each other up and learn from each other and make each other stronger. I didn't know while I was there, but there actually is a vegan society founded in Dhaka who also arranges a vegan festival. So seek them out if you live there. The only Bengali vegans I know about are from West Bengal. Check out Altab Hossain, give him a follow. He's a Bengali vegan Muslim from India. Considering how big Islam is in Bangladesh, I think his approach might be good to do there. Not to argue against the religion itself, but to highlight how mercy and compassion for animals is in alignment with the religion most people say that they follow, and that you should respect God's creatures enough to just leave them alone. The cultural aspect there that was the hardest for me was that the animal cruelty wasn't hidden away like it is where I'm from. It was way more openly visible and socially acceptable, and most people seem conditioned to it. There is a famous saying from Paul McCartney that goes, "If slaughterhouses had glass walls, everyone would be vegetarian." The animals the vegetarians use are also sent to slaughter, so he should have said vegan. But regardless, that statement is unfortunately not true. People can get used to cruelty. If you're exposed to seeing animals being mistreated and killed regularly, then that just becomes your new normal, something you don't think about anymore. In many countries, vegans often show slaughterhouse footage on the streets, and because people are not used to seeing it, they might get emotional or defensive or angry or traumatized. Some people start arguing with us or make jokes or yell at us. Others make the connection and go vegan on the spot. But I'm not sure how effective it would have been to have that type of activism in a place where people are already used to seeing animals suffering and being killed. And because of all the stray dogs there, that everyone wasn't always being nice to, I'm not sure if dog comparisons would work as well there either. One time, my wife's dad and her brother were following me back home from their shop, and they said they wanted to just make a quick detour through a marketplace to get some things on the way home. But when we got there, the smell was so intense. The ground was covered in blood and feathers, chickens crammed in cages, live fish flopping around on the ground, slowly suffocating, and people were just throwing live chickens around like they were objects, chopping their heads off on the spot. For the people there, it was just a normal day, just a normal casual walk through a marketplace. They didn't care about the animals at all. They didn't understand why I got upset. But for me, it was like entering a war zone, like seeing innocent civilian babies being massacred. I should have documented more of it while I was there, but I just froze. I just had some kind of panic attack, you could say. It really crushed me, and I needed some days to recover again before I could be social again. And her family didn't understand that, so I told my wife to explain my perspective to them. Imagine if the chickens and fish being thrown around alive there were human babies. That's how it makes me feel. That's why many vegans don't even want to socialize or sit and eat with other people while they are eating baby corpses. For me, it varies depending on my mood. The world is constantly bombarding us with violence towards non-humans, so you have to build some kind of defense, right? Like the first days we were there, I was just so happy to finally be there and meet her family, so that also made it easier for me to ignore it a few days. And the first days my family came there to join, that also made me so happy to have them there also with them, so then it was also easier for me to ignore. What I would normally do in like big family gatherings, say for Christmas for example, would be to get drunk before the dinner, but alcohol wasn't an option in Bangladesh, and it's tough because you don't want to be that one strange person who ruins the fun for everyone else. But at the same time, you can't help how you feel. I can't unknow what I know, that animals are sentient beings who don't want to die, and what if that individual was me? Some people kinda get it, even if they're not vegans themselves. But even those times where most of my family would eat plant-based around me to be nice to me, someone in my family did not get it and made a huge point out of trying to get the other people in my family to taste different products. Here, try this, you have to try this. Ah, it's so tasty and juicy. Here we go, try this. While sitting next to me, and while the other people around me were also trying to stay plant-based to be nice to me. Yeah, not exactly very appetizing or cozy. So even when vegans don't want to do activism and convert the people around us, when we just want to relax and have a good time, we still end up with a fight, flight, freeze stress response as if we've just witnessed a massacre. It makes me numb and I just shut down. So that said, it really means a lot to me and other vegans when people around us choose not to have animal products, at least when they are around us. That way we are able to have a good time too.
Har fin utsikt på taket helt til jeg kom over så det her. Jeg har veldig lyst til å herpe bura og slippe de ut, men da skjønner de vel at det er utlendingen som har gjort det. Hei på dere. Fint å se noen relativt sunne fjærkre da. Selv om det er kjipere at dere er i bur, selvfølgelig. Dere skulle vært frie, dere. Jeg har ikke noe i dere, altså. Se, har ikke noe, liksom. Det var noen fininger, da. Det er verre fordi duene der, de har det litt trangere, ser det som. Vil dere se at jeg skal hoppe tau, eller? Er det spennende, eller? Da skjer det liksom noe her.
Other common things we saw were goats in marketplaces forced to stand all day with a noose around their necks next to corpses of their friends or siblings. We asked the driver why they make them stand like that, and he said it's so that the goats look bigger to the buyer. We saw live fish out of water slowly suffocating, live crabs being hung up, cows and other animals could just be tied up right next to the traffic. And on our last day in Bangladesh, I was just going out to get a drink, and I walked past a cow that was tied down to the ground, surrounded by people. And I knew what was about to happen. I knew I wouldn't be able to stop it, but I wanted to say something. I wanted to plant a seed in the heads of the people there. So I pulled up the Google Translate, but I couldn't get any internet connection. It was just loading forever. So I keep walking, get my drink, walk back, but then when I got back, it was already too late. They cut the throat right before I came back, and the cow was trying to move, obviously in pain and fear. Because of how the legs were tied up, I couldn't exactly see if it was a cow or a bull, but either way, I looked him or her in the eyes and I could see when he or she died.
Think it's funny? Så stod det en jævel og smilte fordi jeg filmet, så spurte jeg, synes det der er morsomt. Men jeg valgte å gå videre før jeg hadde slaktet noen. Siste dagen vår her nå, så tror ikke kona hadde satt pris på om jeg lagde en stor scene i dag.
Now, the things I've talked about now are obviously very dark. I've seen a lot of slaughterhouse footage, but seeing things in front of you still hits harder. But if you also think so, the solution to dark, depressing things is not to ignore them while you're still doing them. If you don't even want to think about the injustice you cause, imagine being the one having to go through it. Imagine if you swap places with your victims. Who has it harder? The fact that most people there are Muslims makes the apathy towards non-humans a bit strange to me, given how much the Prophet Muhammad was all about kindness and mercy for animals. That to kill a sparrow or anything larger without a just cause will make you have to answer to God. That makes it very weird to me that most Muslims are not vegan. All Muslims should be vegan if they actually cared about what Muhammad said about animals. How can people say they're killing animals for a just cause when there's no need to do it? Us vegans are living examples that you don't need to exploit or kill animals. In our time, it's all needless. If you say otherwise, you are denying science. You're just objectively wrong. Now, maybe the halal slaughter was the least bad way to do it in the 7th century, before they had mapped all the different nutrients and could make B12 supplements, and before they had access to food from all around the world, and before they had stun guns to stun the animals first. But now we both have more painless ways of killing, and the option to not kill anyone at all. If someone tied me up and wanted to put a sharp blade through my sensitive neck full of nerve endings, and there was no way I could convince them to let me go and not kill me, I would beg them to put a bullet or two in my head first. Since we no longer need to use or kill any animals, all of it should be haram in our time. Now, does all these bad experiences outweigh the good experiences I had in Bangladesh? Absolutely not. Even if I hated some parts of the trip, I loved the experience as a whole. I'm definitely going back. Next time I at least know what to expect and mentally I will be better prepared. My wife grew up seeing animals tied down, bleeding out on the ground, and she just learned to not think about it. And even if the degree of violence and cruelty varies around the world, it's basically the same thing everywhere. Learned human supremacy. Learned discrimination. People are not bad people. They've just been taught to do bad things without questioning them. And so was I. I've done things to animals that I'm ashamed of. Most people do think we should respect animals and have compassion and empathy, so vegans are not trying to change good people. We just want good people to make the connection and then live in alignment with their own values. The good news is that we don't have to take part in any of it. You don't have to be a part of the rivers of blood during Eid al-Adha. If Muhammad knew this was still going on in a time where people no longer need to do it, I seriously doubt he would approve of it. Instead of needlessly taking innocent lives, you can sacrifice your time or give to the poor. If you claim that Islam is about peace and righteousness, then show me that with your actions. Just because everyone around you are doing something doesn't mean that you have to join in and do the same. You don't need to exploit any sentient being to be healthy, build muscle, or have a long, happy, successful life, or be a good Muslim. If we claim to be superior to other animals because of our brains, then let's use our brains and show that we can do better. Show that it's possible to change and grow when we get new knowledge. The powerful shouldn't abuse our power over the powerless. We should use it to protect and liberate them. For vegans living there, I will urge you guys to organize and find each other and take action. Join groups. Some of you guys are probably already doing that. Please reach out to me and let me know, or if you know who they are, please send them this video. I'll be back in Bangladesh again within a few years' time, so then I would love to hook up. If you can't find others there, then join international groups. Yeah, I guess that's all for now. Allah Hafiz.
I stick and move through the madness, bob and weave the negative, blocking out the haters. My meditation is medicine. I beat down barriers and stomp out worries. Gotta keep my guard up, cause that drama comes in flurries. It'll throw you all center, take the balance off center line. But I know my enemy, the biggest battle is within the mind. Know yourself, build your strength, learn for weakness. Nothing comes freely, your sweat earns the secrets. The secret is power exists in all people. The struggle is a seafood if you learn to let it teach you. The key to the universe is right within our reaches, but we can't win the game if we standing in the bleachers.